Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Slasher Club, where we do our horror movies with as much entertainment and terror. Tonight, we will be doing a movie that I hate Cameron for getting me to watch. Most of you probably already know because I already mentioned it on a bunch of our Discord and a bunch of the other Discords, but we are doing Demons, sadly. Cue the disappointing music, which will be in the video when Cameron edits, hopefully. But it's a 1985 movie, it's a slaughterhouse movie, and Demented Ghost will be giving you the synopsis and the index. Demented Ghost, let's go.
You cannot see me, but you can hear me, folks. I will tell you, as per usual with the Paranormal Club and Slasher Club, we have a delightful little intro. I provide a synopsis, give you a basic rundown of the story of the film. We then go on to some facts about the film before we go into a score of sorts. For the Paranormal Club, we've got the Gore score. We provide some additional facts, some commentary on the film, analysis, if you will, before we go into the rating of the film and some final thoughts. That all said, let us dive into Demons from 1985. It took considerable effort to get you to watch it, essentially. But anyways, this takes place in Berlin. And we follow a university student named Cheryl who just gets off of the subway, and she's being stalked by this mysterious masked man. He's basically wearing a half mask that looks like tinfoil on his face, and she finally bumps into him, and he's just passing out tickets for a movie premiere at the Metropole, which is this really beautiful theater, in the movie at least. And she decides to get a second ticket for her friend Kathy. So Cheryl and Kathy go to this movie. There's a whole bunch of other folks that come. There's a pimp with two of his prostitutes. There's a blind man with his assistant. There is George and Ken, who are the counterparts, essentially, to Cheryl and Kathy. And long story short, one of the prostitutes sees, that they have all this movie props and things like that, and she sees this silvery demon mask, and she puts it on, and it cuts her face. And once the movie starts, which is also about demons, this is one of those movies that features a movie within a movie. And once the prostitute puts the mask on, she gets cut. The movie plays, and it's about a cemetery, and there are demons and things like that. And long story short, the wound gets infected, and she becomes a demon. She infects somebody else. The demons in this film are not like your typical demons with wings and they're satanic. Really, they're zombies. But we're calling them demons because that's what the people that made the film decided to call them. But they're really weird zombies with glowing eyes and long claws. And the theater gets blockaded. We don't know who blockades the theater. And it's really about the people that are in the movie theater trying to survive and trying to also escape as well. But the main characters are Cheryl, Kathy, George, and Ken. And it goes in a lot of different directions. I think it's a wild, crazy ride of a film, but I know we've got some other thoughts out there. So, anyways, that's essentially the synopsis to the film. I will pass it back to you.
Here's the film. Hey guys, it's the Film Exorcist, and we're on to... It was directed by Lambert Bavara, son of the most famous man that wrote Bay of Bloods. Obviously, he didn't live up to the name.
Wrong.
It was produced by Dario Argento. Screenplay done by Dario Argento. Lamberto Bava, Franco Ferrini, Giordano Sacchati, story by Giordano Sacchati. Oh my god, this is terrible. Sacchati. I'm going to butcher these names. They are so terrible. Music by Claudio Simonetti. Cinematography by Gianno Lorenzo Battaglia.
Antonio Margarete. 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 Margheriti.
On to the locations. We have Heidelberger Platz, which is the subway. Wittenberg Platz, which is Cheryl and Kathy talk about skipping school. Nollendorfer Platz, which is the movie theater. We have the Taventzietstraub, which is the coke snorting punks. My god, I hate that scene. And we have the cast. Jeez, I feel bad for them. We have Urbano Barberini as George, Natasha Hoovey as Cheryl, Carl Zinni as Ken, Paula Kozo as Kathy, Fior Argento as Hannah. Sadly, that's the producer's daughter. Yeah, he sucked her into this. Nicoletta Elmi as Ingrid, the usherette, who we barely know anything about and barely care when she dies. Stelia Condelli as Frank, Nicole Tessier as Ruth, and Bettina Ciapolini as Nina. And on to, my god, I have to say this, but the gore score.
Yeah, I'll agree with you that this film is very messy, so much so that all I can tell you is that there are 26 bodies. I can't tell you exactly how all of them die, but starting from the top of the gore score, yes, we have 26 dead bodies. We have 2 pulsating pimples, 2 people, 2 clawed throats, 2 eyes ripped out, 1 double hanging, 1 person scalped, and 1 demon protruding from a woman's back. So there you go. But you had mentioned that Lamberto Bava is the director of this film. He started his career taking over for his father's last film, which was Planet of Vampires, I believe. And he had a history of directing very controversial films. For instance, before he directed this film, which Demons was very controversial for its time, he also directed Cannibal Holocaust, which even to this day...
Oh my god, an actual good movie!
You don't like Cannibal Holocaust?
My mother's seen it. I've heard all the controversy about it, especially how all those people were arrested just because the assumptions that there was a kidnapping going on and all the actors were dead. So yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I love the controversy surrounding it.
Yeah, so Lamberto Bava is like no stranger to controversy. As I had mentioned prior to our recording of this, this film would not. A lot of countries banned this film, and it was originally called Demoni. Since this was mainly an Italian production, and because of the gore, the drug usage, there is one boob that they show. I didn't mention in the gore score. We don't even get a full set of breasts. We get just one. And that was enough to send the censors out to either ban the film or when they released it in the UK, they heavily censored it. And it's funny, there's a lot of gore to the film, but the most controversial scene in the film is something that is kind of stupid and weird to us, but it is when the punks, the druggies, the cokeheads, whatever you want to call them, are cleaning up the coke in the back seat of the car, and one of the punks takes a razor blade to scrape cocaine off of the woman's breast. That was considered the most controversial scene in the film.
I don't understand why. But on to favorite kill. Honestly, it was really hard for me because a lot of these, I'm sorry, but they were terrible. I swear to God. It was like a Walking Dead episode without the creativity. But sadly, the one I had to come up with was Man in Mask gets impaled by rebarb. I just have to... Thank God he wasn't in this movie very long, or his actor probably would have went insane. Seriously, I watched this and I felt sorry that someone that looked as good as him got stuck in a movie as bad as this.
You know, something really interesting. That guy, the man in the mask, is Italian film director Michel Soavi. And one of the first films that you and I reviewed together was Stage Fright, the guy with the owl mask.
Yes.
That was directed by the guy in the Silver Mask.
Oh my God, and that was actually a good movie. Thank God he took some inspiration on not doing something like this.
I mean, you cannot Demoni, but it was very popular, you know.
So I've heard.
A lot of it has to do.
This is going to be
a lot of it has to do with the controversy. Favorite? What was that?
This is going to be a very controversial video. I definitely know that much because I mentioned it. Everyone knows I mentioned it on Discord and all those. Well, mostly just the horror channel I'm on Discord. But a few of them berated me because I hate this movie.
You know what? And that's fine. You know, we're all free to like the movies that we do. And I give you respect for sticking to your guns and, you know, not just trying to agree with me because I suggested a movie. If you hate a movie, I love hearing, you know, differences of opinion. But to my favorite kill, that is a tough question as well for me. I just saw a couple days ago before we recorded, and I don't know. I just like the mayhem of the film, but I mentioned in the gore score, there are two throats that get clawed out, and one of them is a girl. She gets her throat clawed. She's the second victim. That one's not that cool. It's a prostitute. The second prostitute getting infected by the first. But there's a guy, and what happens is a demon comes up right behind him, and the hands from the demon, the claws of the demon go right around the guy's neck like he's going to strangle him, and then you just see the nails go right into the throat, and then the skin rip open. I thought that was an incredibly gory kill. There's a lot of gory kills, but I thought that one stood out.
Least favorite kill. Cheryl gets shot. Literally. I know a lot of people don't put it on their carnage counts or kill counts, but you watch after the credits, and this is supposed to be a special cutscene, and all you see is out of nowhere, not even transformation like the other people, out of nowhere, she just turns around and she's a demon. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Not even a transformation. All we get is, oh, let me slap makeup on. Oh, wow, now I'm a demon. Just...
Tell us how you really feel.
I want to kill you so badly right now, Cameron, for making me watch this. I swear to God, that was the most... I wish they'd shot her earlier on in the film. At least someone take a shot at her head in the subway.
But the actress was so pretty. I mean, most of the cast were fairly decent to look at. You know, you had the redheaded woman that was the Metropole attendant. Kathy and Cheryl are both attractive. You got to at least give this to the Italians. Like, they know how to be fashionable and stylish in their films. You know, you got a good-looking cast for the most part. You got an amazing soundtrack, which I know you mentioned Claudio Simonetti doing the score, but really quickly we got Billy Idol, White Wedding. We have Except Fast as a Shark, Motley Crue's Save Our Souls, Rick Springfield, Walking on the Edge, Pretty Maids doing Night Danger, Go West, Close Our Eyes, The Adventures, Send My Heart, and Saxon, Everybody Up. I mean, there's a lot of great, I think maybe they spent most of their budget on the soundtrack. I just checked on Wikipedia. They only spent $1.8 million making this film. They probably spent most of it getting the rights for the soundtrack.
And thank God we don't even have answers on the box office. Not one lick of it. I guess they literally wanted to take these out of the movie theaters. Thank God. And Motley Crue, please save our souls. Especially those who think this was a good movie. Cameron.
You know, there's a lot of things to appreciate with this film. And again, I mentioned the style. The places where they filmed outside of Berlin, were very beautiful looking. The exteriors of the Metropole. This is the only time that we get to see that theater because it was an abandoned theater, and they put the interiors together, especially for this movie, and then they just demolished it. So, the plot could have used some work. Some of the kills could have been staged a little bit better so we could anticipate what's going on. But I just think this is what you would call a cult classic. Like, it's the type of movie you watch when you're bored, you don't know what else there is, and you just put it on, you're with your friends, and you just laugh your way through it because it's just this fun, goofy film. You got this great rock soundtrack. You got Claudio Simonetti providing this really great synth score, in my opinion. And it's just a fun film. I mean, it's just crazy. We start with a woman being stalked in a subway by a guy in a metal mask, half mask. We've got these random Rick James looking demon. It's like they tried to copy the Michael Jackson Thriller. They're like, how can we turn this into a full movie without actually knowing what the Thriller song was about? But anyways, and then we end with this 80s Macho Man action film where the guy is in a sleeveless shirt with a katana and a motorcycle. You had to know the movie. Is it movie or Film Exorcist? I know you're an exorcist by trade, but is it film or movie?
Film Exorcist.
All right, Film Exorcist. You know when they're riding around a movie theater that looks like it's just, been the victim subjected to carpet bombing, and you see them ride out on a motorcycle, you can't take this film seriously.
Seriously, that was the first scene I ever saw. I watched it on Top 10 Scenes in Horror, and it got me excited for this movie, kind of, but then my expectations were shot down pretty quickly. We have, again, the budget was $1.8 million, sadly. Posters of Nosferatu, Phantom der Nacht, or Phantom of the Night, and Four Flies on Gray Velvet. They both can be seen in the Metropolis, or Metropole, we have a 56% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, thank God. And I believe it was a 1.5 out of 4 for this movie. Mainly rock and heavy metal songs. We had brought to America a year after it was released. We have a Terminator poster on the left of the motorcycle in most of the scenes. Most of the actors just screamed their lines, basically. All you hear, I mean, yeah, they're nice, but here, it's nothing but yelling their lines and trying to fake a performance. No offense to them. I mean, we all know it's the writer's fault in these kinds of movies.
Well, you know what's crazy? This movie had 3 writers. Did that not shock you?
3 writers, and they still fucked up a movie.
Hey, everybody! I love Thor. The guy, the African Italian actor. I think his name is Benny Rhodes. So, anyways, really quick aside. At this time in film history, the Italians were really obsessed with American culture, and so they tried to cast people in the film that they thought looked American. So, you have, where's his name? Urbano Barberini, who, he looks fairly American, fairly westernized. And then you have, Benny Rhodes playing the pimp, and I guess they assumed, since he's black, he looks like he's American. But, going to your point about them screaming the lines, like, the pimp, all of his lines are screamed, or he's said very aggressively, and I don't know, I think that adds to the comedic charm of the film,
But seriously, it seemed like they were phoning in every line or every action they did.
I mean, that's what they don't call it B-rated because it's a stellar production. They call it B-rated because there are amateurish qualities to it, but it's still entertaining.
Right. And no point to the punk subplot. I mean, seriously. For a lot of the movie, we get these punks riding around in a fucking, I don't know what kind of car, but they're riding around for most of the scenes, sniffing coke, and just, because the cops come in, they end up going into the movie theater, and we don't even get to see them die. I mean, they're supposed to be cannon fodder, we know, but you put so much development into their characters that we don't even get to see the outcome. I mean, Friday the 13th, we have the 2 camp counselors at the beginning. We care that they died because it was interesting. We wanted to see them die in the first few seconds. Here, we just have these coked off idiots that we don't even see the outcome of.
Yeah, they could have at least added that. I'll give you that.
And everyone who I've talked to has said, oh, well, that's the standard for 80s movies. Oh, no! Nightmare on Elm Street. They had a better plot. They had a lot of interesting kills. And they had characters we actually cared about. Friday the 13th, we had Alice, a main girl that, again, we cared about. Yes, we didn't see much about her, but at least we learned something. We learned in the 80s. Here, we learned nothing, except the 2 girls go to college, and the 2 boys just want to pick them up. And then we've got the cokeheads who just want to sniff coke for some odd fucking reason. as they drive around in the car, and it's in a Coke cup.
Well, I mean, I think you're giving Friday the 13th way too much credit. I mean, we have at least 2 or 3 final girls that survive that we never hear from ever again in the franchise, which that's like a red flag. It's like, whatever happened to him? Why not? And then you have the crazy guy that rides his bike around in the first one and is telling people, don't go to Camp Death or whatever, or Camp Blood. But then he just dies in the beginning of part 2. It's like, well, what was the point of his character? He didn't sufficiently warn anybody, and then he just dies. So, I mean, it's easy to nitpick a horror film, for sure. But there's problems with every horror film. And I wouldn't say Demons is the same quality as, like, A Nightmare on Elm Street, or... Because that is a higher caliber film. Wes Craven, he's presenting it as a slasher film, but there is more to it. There is some substance to the story. You have some psychological aspects to consider and things like that. But Demons is just supposed to be a fun movie. I think if you overanalyze it, you're kind of missing the point of the movie.
Yet seriously, even Halloween did better, and that was a few years before this. Also, Texas Chainsaw Massacre did with a lot less, and still ended up doing way better than this. You gotta think of those things. And yes, I did come into this movie. I expected at least a lot out of it. I came in low expectations, and it just lowered them way more than they already were. I'm sorry. Again, I've never seen this movie. I've only seen that one scene with the motorcycle kills, but again, it just lowered my expectations. It kept on hitting me over and over again, like, I'm already dead. Stop shooting my dead body. I get it. You want to make a Slaughterhouse film. Slaughterhouse films have plots and way more story.
What was the plot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
2 kids get lost. They pick up a dude. He kills himself. They end up going to... Because they're trying to find their family home, no one's there, and two of the kids decide to go off behind the river and find a family of cannibals that end up eating them. Huge difference from Demons.
I know, but that's a very basic story. I mean, and Halloween is even more basic. Escaped convict goes after babysitters. That's the whole plot, essentially, for the first Halloween. It's not until the other films where they start adding elements, like, Laurie Strode is the sister of Michael Myers, and then the Crown of Thorn, and all that stuff, and then it gets weighted down to the point where it just sinks.
Yet at least they tried to build on it. This one, I don't know if our fans know, but they literally made a bunch of sequels just to make sequels. And they have nothing to do with the movie, except just having a similar name.
Yeah, but you know what? Because I'm a fan of Italian horror, so I'm playing their advocate this time around. It's the same thing like with Friday the 13th. You have all the sequels, and I know they are related, but you have tons of movies that are knockoffs. That are basically, that's just like Jason, or, that's just like the same concept. In the 90s, you had a lot of films that tried to copy and do what Scream did. So I don't blame the Italian. And what's funny is a lot of the people that were working in the Italian film industry at the time, they all knew each other. So I think they're all trying to get their fingers in the same pie, if you will. Like, for instance, Michel Soavi, the guy that played the Man in the Mask, he made his own film called The Church, and they tried to call that Demons 3, and Lamberto Bava, he did Demons 1 and Demons 2, and then he later did a television movie called The Ogre, and he tried, I forgot if it was him or somebody else, they tried to call that Demons 3. So I think really the unrelated sequels has more to do with, they just wanted to keep the brand alive, if you will. So, but that's another thing that adds the charm to this film is there's so much fun history to this film. Like there's just a lot to talk about the film. Even though the film may not be like the best film ever, there's just so much subject matter to go over. Are we doing Demons 2 next week? How are we going to get through that?
Nope. Hopefully, both of us have seen The Nun by then, and we can get back to good movies. But, ladies and gentlemen, this felt like the ugly cousin of Night of the Living Dead, and everyone knows, a lot of people love that movie. That's basically what helped give us our modern zombie. The brain-eating, headshots only zombie. There was that one little girl that she turns into a zombie and just stabs her parents to death, but again, it created our modern zombie. No one ever used this concept for a demon. They've used it for those ugly dolls that you see of demons, but never have I ever seen some movie try and take from this.
Well, I am fearful of what your answer will be, but what are you rating this film?
A 2.
Oh, you know what? I say that's actually very fair coming. Well, for me, I'm just going to go with 7. Maybe that's too high, maybe that's too low for folks. I'm just playing it safe and going with the 7. If you've seen the film, let us know what your thoughts are. Do you agree with the Film Exorcist, or do you believe it? Or is the Demented Ghost the correct one this time around? Let us know. We always love hearing from you all. We want to hear more from you. We like conversation. That's one of the reasons why we're here, is to talk about the movies that we watch and enjoy. And unfortunately, I guess I was the only one that enjoyed it this time around.
I was going to give it a 1, but I have to admit, the motorcycle scene at least was pretty good. That's the only saving grace of this movie.
2 really quick pieces of trivia. The woman that played the prostitute that was first infected, she has like these little dreadlocks. Her name, I think, is Gerada. Gerada is what I heard. Anyways, she had a very small part in the film, but she still goes to conventions based on that one role. I think that was the only movie role that she really had and is recognized for, and she still goes to horror conventions over that role. And then lastly, last bit of trivia here that, you can tell I really like this movie because I took a lot of notes. Lastly, in 2015, Claudio Simonetti, and I found this out, Claudio Simonetti was the frontman for Goblin, which was a band that Dario Argento constantly used in his films, most notably in Suspiria. Anyways, Claudio Simonetti got Goblin back together, and in 2015 they did an appearance at the Shock Pop Comic Con where they performed the Demoni score.
But yeah, guys, don't worry, we will be getting to a better movie on Monday, the Halloween Resurrection, even though it is kind of a hated movie because of all the pop references and all that. but I'm pretty sure me and Cameron can agree that we're both going to be defending that movie. Hopefully on Wednesday we will finally get to do The Nun and put this movie series behind us. Maybe after The Nun we'll be doing the Insidious movies, which actually was one of the first supernatural movies I ever saw, not knowing that Final Destination was technically a supernatural movie. But yeah, we're going to be getting to a lot better movies. No offense, Cameron, but I do not want to go do Demons 2 after seeing this. It makes me fear for my life. But, guys, I expel this movie from this world. Please disappear from every bargain bin. Only go to the homeless who do not have a DVD player, so they can just look at the screen and... I envy anyone who hasn't seen this movie. I don't even like myself for watching it. But, again, we'll be getting to Halloween Resurrection and The Nun. We will see you guys next week. Any final words, Cameron?
Yes, to quote the film with Indy Moni, the sleep of reason gives birth to monsters.
And this was one monster no one wants to face. Good night, goodbye, and this has been the Film Exorcist and the Demented Ghost.